Have you ever felt that silence has a sound? Have you ever noticed a high-pitched hum that no one else seems to hear? Or maybe you've felt that you no longer belong to this old world, as if something inside you were disconnecting from ordinary reality. If that sounds familiar, this video didn't reach you by accident. It is a calling, a reminder of something your soul already knew but your mind had forgotten. You are awakening. Today, we'll reveal the clear signs that your consciousness has already begun the transition to the new earth, based on the teachings of Dolores Cannon and deepened by the consciousness researcher Jacobo Grinberg. Prepare to feel your soul being activated. Now, write in the comments, "I hear the frequency." This symbolic act activates your vibration, connects you to the awakened collective, and seals your journey back to your true self. Let's go together. The awakening of consciousness is a topic that for a long time was ignored or treated as mere esoteric speculation. However, two pivotal figures broke through that barrier and brought both scientific and spiritual light to this phenomenon: Dolores Cannon and Jacobo Grinberg. Dolores Cannon, a hypnotherapist with more than 45 years of experience, developed QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. Through thousands of sessions, she accessed a deep level of the human mind, which she called the subconscious, where cosmic information, memories of other lives, and revelations about the soul's role on Earth reside. Dolores didn't just theorize. She recorded consistent and similar accounts from hundreds of people around the world, describing the Earth's transition to a new reality, the new Earth. Jacobo Grinberg, in turn, united neuroscience and spirituality in his research on the neuronal field and the synergetic theory. He proposed that there is a unified field of consciousness that connects all beings, and that our perception of reality is only a small fraction of the vibrational totality that surrounds us. When we bring these two perspectives together, it becomes clear we are living through an unprecedented moment of expansion of the collective consciousness. And your awakening is a fundamental part of it. There is a moment that is silent and at the same time thunderous that marks the beginning of the awakening of consciousness. It doesn't arrive with fireworks, but with a restlessness that takes hold of the soul. It's as if suddenly you realize that something is different, but that something is inside you. You start to feel that you no longer belong to places that once felt familiar. Superficial conversations lose their meaning. The world's distractions no longer hold you. And then a strange yet very real feeling arises. You are awakening. One of the first signs is the perception of a high-pitched sound, a ringing that appears out of nowhere, usually in one of the ears, especially the right. Medicine calls it tinnitus, but Dolores Cannon revealed that it is much more than a physical phenomenon. It is the frequency of the new earth, the sound of your soul tuning into higher dimensions of consciousness. It is the activation of what has always been within you, now beginning to emerge. Another clear sign is the sensation that time is collapsing. Days seem to pass faster. The years grow shorter. You look at the clock and realize it doesn't reflect what you feel inside. Dolores explained that as consciousness rises, linear time stops making sense. Because on the plane of the new earth, time isn't a line. It's a vibrational field that responds to your frequency. When you change within, your perception of reality changes without. And then comes that strange loss of interest in everything that used to matter: social media, success patterns, rampant consumption, others' approval. All of that begins to sound empty, not out of arrogance or denial, but because your soul begins to remember that all of this was just a stage set, and you didn't come here to perform. You came to awaken. This disconnection from the old world isn't a collapse, it's liberation. Dolores Cannon said that the truly awakened recognize each other from the inside. And one of the most painful and revealing signs is the feeling of loneliness, even when you're surrounded by people. the sense that no one truly understands you. But that loneliness, she said, is a sign that you're vibrating on a different station, like a radio tuned to a frequency few can reach yet. You are not disconnected from others. You are connected to something greater, your mission. Synchronicity also starts to happen with inexplicable frequency. Repeating numbers, messages that arrive at the right moment, lucid dreams, unshakable intuitions. It's the language of the universe confirming, yes, you are remembering who you are. And no, it isn't a coincidence. The call has already begun. The question now is, are you willing to listen? In her thousands of regression sessions, Dolores Cannon discovered something surprising. Many souls incarnated at this time are not ordinary. They came from other planes, dimensions, and spiritual civilizations with a clear mission to anchor light on Earth during the most critical moment of its evolutionary history. She called these groups the 3 waves of volunteers. Each has distinct characteristics, challenges, and purposes, but all share the same essence: to remember who they are and help the planet transition to the new Earth. The first wave arrived around the 1940s and 50s. These are people who are now in midlife or older. These souls were the first to incarnate in a world still dense, materialistic, and disconnected from spirituality. That's why many carry a deep sense of not belonging. They have felt out of place since childhood, as if they were on a strange planet. Many faced silent depression, fear, inexplicable anguish, and a longing to go home, even without knowing where that place would be. Dolores revealed that these pioneers opened the way, broke patterns, and bore the weights of 3-dimensionality so that the next waves could have a less painful journey. The second wave came in the 1960s and 70s, a period marked by counterculture movements, spiritual revolutions, and the birth of a new consciousness. These beings arrived with a more refined vibrational sensitivity. They are artists, healers, teachers, spiritual seekers. They don't necessarily have a formal spiritual practice, but they radiate light through their simple presence. Their mission is to be a lighthouse. They don't need to do anything specific. Merely existing at a higher vibration already influences the surrounding field. However, many in this wave still face the challenge of doubt. Do they really have a purpose? Dolores said yes, and that the very fact they are here now is proof. The third wave is formed by the youth and children born from the 1980s onward, especially after the 2000s. They are known as indigo, crystal, and rainbow children. They didn't come here to awaken because they arrived awakened. They possess sharp intuition, a natural energetic sensitivity, and a strong rejection of outdated systems. They question everything: religion, politics, school, hierarchies. Many are diagnosed with conditions like ADHD or autism, but Dolores revealed that, in truth, these traits are protective mechanisms, so they won't be contaminated by a system that still doesn't understand them. Regardless of the wave, all these souls share something in common. They feel they have a mission, even if they can't describe it in words. This inner calling, this urgency for a higher meaning of existence, is the soul trying to remember. The mission at heart isn't to save anyone or to change the world alone. The mission is simple and grand, to be the frequency of the new earth embodied in matter, and when one soul awakens, it activates others around it, like a bonfire lighting others without losing its own flame. Do you feel you're part of one of these waves? Then your mission has already begun. Imagine 2 worlds coexisting in the same space, yet vibrating at completely different frequencies. One world still bound to fear, scarcity, control, and separation, and another already vibrating in love, freedom, abundance, and unity. Dolores Cannon called this phenomenon the separation of realities, or the split between the old Earth and the new Earth. And this split isn't physical, it's vibrational. You don't need to move anywhere. You only need to change your frequency. According to Dolores, the Earth is undergoing a process of dimensional transition. And this change doesn't happen suddenly, but gradually, like a sunrise that lights things little by little. Those who begin to awaken experience the strange sensation of being between two worlds. They still live on the same planet, but their perceptions are already changing. Reality starts responding differently, more synchronicities, more connections to the invisible, more clarity about what is true. This is the frequency of the new Earth manifesting. The new Earth isn't a distant paradise or an unattainable plane. It's an elevated state of consciousness that can be accessed through the choices you make at every moment. And here is the key. You choose which Earth you will experience, not by words, but by vibration. If you feed thoughts of fear, judgment, and limitation, you anchor yourself to the old frequency. But if you cultivate love, truth, compassion, and presence, you align with the new Earth, even if everything around you looks the same. Dolores stated that people's great mistake is to wait for an external event to mark this transition. But what she discovered through thousands of regressions is that the event is internal. It begins within each being who awakens to their true nature. The outer world merely reflects this vibrational shift. The separation of realities is already happening now, silently yet irreversibly. That's why some people are living in harmony, prosperity, and expansion, even amid collective chaos. They aren't lucky or delusional. They chose to change stations, to change frequency, without waiting for the whole world to do the same. And this choice is available to everyone, without exception. Dolores said that eventually this separation will become more evident. People will seem to live on different planets while occupying the same geographic space. While some live in collapse, others will live in rebirth. That may sound impossible, but if you look closely, it's already happening. And you who are hearing this call probably already have one foot in the new Earth. The question isn't whether the new Earth exists, it already does. The question is, which frequency do you choose to maintain? While Dolores Cannon accessed the deep unconscious of thousands of people through quantum hypnosis, a Mexican scientist was quietly building a bridge between spirituality and neuroscience. His name was Jacobo Grinberg, and his work is perhaps one of the most revolutionary ever done on the nature of reality. He didn't just believe in the existence of a higher consciousness, he described how it works, using scientific and spiritual foundations. Jacobo developed the synergetic theory, a model that explains reality as a construction of consciousness. According to him, there is a fundamental field, what he called the neuronal or synergetic field, that permeates everything that exists. This field is amorphous, without structure, but it contains all the possibilities of the universe. Reality, as we perceive it, only arises when our mind interacts with this field and decodes a portion of it, creating what we call the material world. This means that what we see, touch, and feel isn't reality itself, but only a projection filtered by our consciousness. And here is the meeting point with Dolores Cannon's teachings. As our consciousness awakens, our ability to access subtler layers of this field also increases. Reality ceases to be rigid and begins to respond to the frequency we emit. Grinberg conducted profound experiments with indigenous healers, spiritual masters, and people in altered states of consciousness. He observed that when a person enters a state of elevated vibrational coherence, such as in deep meditation or intense spiritual connection, their interaction with the field changes. It's as if new parts of the field become visible and accessible. This explains phenomena like telepathy, energy healing, synchronicities, and powerful intuitions, precisely the signs described by Dolores in her regressions. More than that, Jacobo suggested that we create the world by common agreement. In other words, there is an unconscious collective agreement about how reality should function. But when that agreement starts to break, as is happening now, new possibilities emerge. People begin to perceive different realities, experience synchronicities, access dormant gifts, and witness spontaneous healings. The separation of worlds, described by Dolores, finds here a powerful theoretical basis. Grinberg's theory also warns us, The more conditioned your mind is, the more limited your perception of reality will be. And that's why awakening is so challenging. It requires you to undo layer upon layer of beliefs, fears, judgments, and inherited patterns. Only then do you begin to see what has always been there, but which your consciousness couldn't yet decode. Jacobo Grinberg mysteriously disappeared in 1994, shortly after declaring that he had made a discovery that could change the world. To this day, his disappearance remains a mystery, but his legacy echoes powerfully. Reality is created from the inside out, and as you awaken, you begin to create a new world, not only for yourself, but for everyone. Awakening isn't a destination, it's a practice. It isn't enough to understand intellectually that the new earth exists, that there's a unified field of consciousness, or that you are a volunteer soul. You must embody that truth in everyday life. Dolores Cannon was very clear about this. The mission of those who have awakened is not to convince anyone, nor to change the world by force. It is to sustain the frequency of the new reality with their very presence. And that requires practice, discipline, and humility. The sacred practice Dolores taught began with a simple gesture, connecting with the higher self every day. Upon waking, before touching your phone or diving into the rush of the world, place your hand over your heart, close your eyes and say firmly, "I am one with my higher self. I am one with Source. I am light. I am love. I remember who I am." This declaration isn't an empty repetition, it is an activation. Each word vibrates through your energetic structure, reprogramming your mind, your biology, and your field. Another essential point is to live with discernment and without judgment. Many awakened people feel frustrated seeing a world still asleep. But Dolores said, that is a test. When you judge those who have not yet awakened, you lower your own frequency. True light doesn't force, it simply illuminates. Your role isn't to awaken others by force, but to be so coherent in your own energy that your presence becomes a silent invitation to awakening, like a candle that lights others without losing its own flame. Authenticity is also part of the practice. It means living your truth without fear. It isn't about imposing beliefs, but about being consistent with what you feel is true. When you silence your intuition to please others, you betray your mission. When you hide to be accepted, you abandon your soul's pact. Your truth is your greatest power, even if it makes others uncomfortable, especially if it makes them uncomfortable. And finally comes the most challenging part, trusting the process. Trusting even when everything seems to go wrong, even when pain arrives, even when loneliness tightens its grip. Dolores said that each difficulty is a preparation, each disconnection is a liberation, each loss is a shedding of weight. To trust is to understand that your soul chose to be here now, at this exact moment in humanity's history, because it knew it could sustain light amid darkness. You didn't come to save anyone. You came to be presence, be vibration, be love in human form. This is the sacred practice, and by living it, you become the very portal of the new earth, walking between worlds, activating consciousnesses with your gaze, your words, and your silence. The world changes when you embody the frequency you wish to see in it, and you've already begun. If something awakened within you during this video, a subtle memory, a deep emotion, a silent confirmation, know that you are not alone. What you heard here is not just knowledge, it is a mirror of your own essence, and if these words touched your soul, then you are already on the path of awakening. But remember, knowing isn't enough. You must apply it. You must live it. Begin now. Set aside a moment of silence every day to reconnect with your origin, with your higher self. Practice presence, love, authenticity. Be the frequency you want to see in the world. And whenever doubt arises, remember what Dolores Cannon taught. You are not here by accident. You were called and you accepted. Write in the comments, I am the frequency of the new earth. This declaration is your anchor, your seal, your affirmation that you are aware of the mission. And if this content truly touched you, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. In the next videos, we will go even deeper into the teachings of Dolores, Jacobo Grinberg, and the awakening of consciousness. You have already begun to remember. Now don't stop. The world needs you awake.